what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy Jayden Daniels. We're halfway through the season. We kind of look back. We can do kind of a, okay, let's see what's worked, what hasn't, what you got to get better, and there are some answers with that in mind that we'll get to. But Jayden Daniels has now won SEC Offensive Player of the Week 3 of the last 4 weeks. You lead the nation in third down conversion. He's second or third in the nation in seemingly every quarterback category. Like Caleb Williams is the only player that has just better raw volume stats than does Jayden Daniels. So up to this point, Jayden Daniels has been an unqualified success. And Brian Kelly, because remember, what was a lot of the preseason debate? Could Jayden Daniels improve, or was he already a known quantity? Right? Is what you see what you get? Because I mean, he had a million starts up to that point. How could we possibly expect him to get that much better? Well, this is Kelly 6, Mario. Here is Brian Kelly giving you an answer on how he views on how JD5 has managed to take that next step.
You know, it's our job as coaches to present the information in terms of what they need to do, players, to progress. And then players need to fix it. And I think, you know, with Jayden, he fixed a lot of these things. You know, he was not progressing, you know, through his reads. He was coming off them too soon. He wasn't staying in the pocket. He wasn't being patient. He was doing some of the things that get you 80 yards throwing it. And so he's fixed a lot of those things and has put him in a position now where, you know, he's one of the top, if not the top quarterback production-wise in the country. So I think we gave him a good plan. I think Joe Sloan's done a great job. Mike's done a great job of putting him in a really good position. And then I think he's gone out and he's made the adjustments and made the improvements.
Yeah, I think that's important to highlight, man, because I mean, it's funny now, Jake. Who would have guessed, even after Florida State, the original red zone possession in Florida State, we were complaining about them not getting Jayden Daniels on the run. How funny it is then that on that 3rd and 5 against Ole Miss, we're complaining that they took Jayden Daniels out the pocket because he has been so devastatingly effective from the pocket with both his arms and his legs, not just his legs, not just taking advantage of the full field that operating out of the pocket affords you, but no, finding throws over the middle, finding short throws, intermediate, long. Like, he is attacking every level of field. And as Brian Kelly's talking about there, is it a credit to the process and the stability and the O-line and the receivers? It's a credit to everybody, but ultimately the massive level of self-improvement that you've seen from Jayden Daniels, ultimately that has to be fueled from within, and Jayden Daniels deserves a ton of credit for making it happen.
He does. I would actually love to try to find his throw chart from last year compared to this year.
Yeah.
And just see exactly where some of these completions are coming from, because I still think, like, if he would have been last year's Jayden Daniels, he would have been fantastic. Like, he'd have been great, and he would have probably won you a lot of games. But, like, this level that he got to, I'm going to be honest, I didn't know he could get to this level. I didn't know that he could do some of the things that he's doing. Like, I thought, like, yeah, they're going to scheme around some of his skill set, and it's going to be good, but could it be elite? Could it be maybe the best in the country? I didn't know that could get done, like, because, you know, so many starts, and what can you really do to continue to develop? Well, credit to him, because he's done that and then some. And you're right, like 3rd and 5 last year, we would have been like, get him on the move.
Yeah.
Give him a two-way go. Yeah. Let him have the option to run it. Now it's like, man, why didn't you just keep him in the pocket?
I know. Let him pick apart the defense with his
been
brain like he's been
pocket.
doing all year long.
Exactly. So, like, credit to him. I mean, he has completely changed his game. He still has the elements. And I think we probably saw those more last week than any week of, I'm still a badass, and I can still go out there, run quarterback draw, outrun everybody, split 2 defenders a couple of different times. He still has that, but now we're talking about somebody that can process it and hits every portion of the field at any area of the field.
Well, and the thing is, well, let's highlight when he runs, because this is not, you know, at times last year, one of the big complaints was, even when he's having success with his legs, it was the immediacy of the decision to pull down and run. Mm-hmm. When I say he's making great decisions from the pocket, that doesn't just mean through the air, going through his progressions, finding the correct receiver. He's also doing a stunningly good job of knowing, okay, now is the time to run, right? Because that is also a decision in and of itself. What What are you giving up when you choose to tuck it and run it? And nobody's perfect, but for the most part, his decisions, 9 out of 10 have been correct. And it's just like I said, I mean, it's incredible to see. You are inarguably, objectively, factually witnessing the second best quarterback season you have ever seen at LSU. And by far, Jake, the best quarterback season Brian Kelly's ever had. And not even close.
Yeah, that's not even close.
You go look at Brian Kelly, and that's why you're starting to hear this adoration in Brian Kelly's voice when he talks about Jayden Daniels, because he has never had a quarterback this good or this exorbitant. It's one of the reasons why you got to get something out of this defense in this second half so you don't just completely waste this, and maybe you can find opportunity. Because let's be clear, LSU does control its own destiny. Ole Miss is going to drop to either Texas A&M or Georgia. That is going to happen. That will give them 2 SEC losses. Yep. If LSU beats Alabama, you will have 1 SEC loss and you will have the tiebreaker. And now you got to beat Auburn and everybody else, right? But I'm saying, like, you still, if you win out, you control your own destiny when it comes to the SEC West. So that there's still massive opportunity, but the defense has to match Jayden Daniels' level of play. Here is Brian Kelly was asked about what he sees as a coach, because like we all see the numbers, but what do you see out of JD5 as a coach that has impressed you so much this year?
Some of the things that you don't see is ripping some throws, under duress. And I think that those are the big things that stand out to me is, he hit a seam ball late in the game. Even the touchdown to Neighbors that he threw that was wide open. We had a freshman center in there, and, they overloaded that A-gap, and there was pressure, and he had to move and slide, if you remember, and he was under duress, and he threw that on the move. That was just the nuances that, a lot of people may not see. But I see those things, and as quarterback coach and the offensive coordinator see the little things that he's doing under duress or under pressure or getting hit after he throws, a very accurate ball that are starting to separate him from good to great.
Well, and if you listen to OTB, then you've seen it as well, because those are the exact plays that we've highlighted and celebrated here. I know Jake talked about his toughness yesterday, and that seems to be one of the things that has really separated him this. And he was already tough last year, but you have seen it even more this year, and it really was embodied in this last game where he goes out and then comes back a drive later and just goes and wins you the game.
I mean, you look up, and he's got hurt ribs. He's got blood coming from his elbow down through his fingertips. I'm pretty sure he had a bloody lip at one point. Yeah. I mean, just blood everywhere, and just it comes back in the game and just plays like that and runs the football, like with hurt ribs. Like, there's no doubt he hurt his rib. I mean, you saw some pictures after the game. He had, like, the rib protector kind of, the compression shirt that has it built in there. So he did something, and he's still out there running the football. Like, his 2 biggest runs were after he hurt his ribs.
Yeah.
I mean, so he's been incredible from every aspect of it, and we'll see if we can get. I just sent it to the group. His pass map from this year. Oh, nice. And it is, and just the completions and where he's completing footballs.
Well, and one of the reasons why I really wanted to start, because I know that we're always loving on JD5, but isn't this why we watch football? Like, don't we wait 8 months every offseason to get the opportunity to witness greatness? And it's especially fun when it's greatness in your own backyard. And I know because maybe the defense has played. Like, I talked to one of my friends who didn't even watch this last game because he was still so frustrated by the Ole Miss game. Like, you can't let that happen. It's time. Like, you have to enjoy these moments, win or lose. Jayden Daniels completing 75% of his passes, maybe like 72. I'm doing this off the top of my head. Here's 6 games through the season. He's got 1,975 yards to the air, 19 touchdowns, 2 picks. So he's already thrown more touchdowns than he had all of last season or any other season in his career. And he's on pace for basically 4. Well, no. I mean, look, if you include a bowl game, Jake, over 4,000 yards in the air and 40 touchdowns.
You know it is.
What? And 1,000 on the ground.
On the ground, yeah.
And how many touchdowns do you have there? 3 or 4?
He has 4.
4? Even after getting 2 taken away? Get to that. Brian Kelly talked about that. Yeah. But, wow. Unbelievable.
His quarterback rating in conference play, just against SEC teams, 205.5.
And right now, for reference, actually, Caleb Williams is the only player in the country with a quarterback rating over 200. And Jayden Daniels is right there behind him at I think it's 196.
Yeah, 196.7.
Yeah.
So we're going to give him 197 here on this show.
Pretty incredible if you ask me. Hey, give me that passing chart, Taylor. All right, Jake. So what are we looking at here?
All right, so the green dots are completed passes. Obviously, you can see the key down there, and I think it just shows you exactly. And the blue, all that blue on the left and right side deep, that's touchdowns.
Touchdowns.
Those are all
touchdowns.
touchdowns.
Hooker like that.
But just look at. I mean, he's using every part of the field. Now, obviously, he's not throwing a ton of posts like deep post routes, but he's hitting that 15 to 18 yard middle portion of the field, in which, just last year didn't feel like it was a part of the LSU offense. I mean, look at that spray chart. He is going everywhere on the field. Now, you got a couple more deep shots maybe on the right side, but also look at all those touchdowns on the left side.
Let's say that's looking pretty I mean, maybe a little more, but yeah, that's and then even the couple down the middle as well. And you think about a couple of the drops, like I see one of these dots, I'm like, ooh, that's Chris Hilton at the beginning of the Ole Miss game.
Yeah.
Right. He dropped that in the bucket right there. This is impressive, dude. Nobody would have ever expected to see something this balanced out of JD5 last year.
No, I mean, you are hitting every portion of the field. You're hitting every depth of the field as well. And you know what you don't see a lot of? It's kind of like Where's Waldo, trying to find that red dot for an interception.
Yeah.
You can find it if you look at it and stare at it long enough. I mean, just not turning the football over and still taking chances.
Well, and like a lot of chats point out, he lost stats in the FSU game with drops. Even this last game, you didn't throw it much, but there were 2 drops when you did. Like at one point, I think he was 9 of 12 or something, and Malik and Brian Thomas both had a drop. So it's
the last pass of the Ole Miss game was a drop.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Yeah, no, it was.
To the standard of, how good that player is and can be.
Yeah, maybe that's a yellow dot right there at the 32. Just hanging out soul in the middle right there.
I mean, look, it's highly impressive what he's been able to do and the way that he's doing it. Because if he just had stats, but it was it's kind of still, he's just more athletic than everybody else, and he's getting it done, we'd still be very excited about that. But he is doing it at an elite level, using all portions of the field, using different depths like we talked about, your 5-yard throws, your 15-yard throws, certainly your 30-yard plus throws. He's doing whatever you have to have him do to keep his team in the game with his arms and with his legs, but more importantly, more with his arms.
Well, now I wish, too, I don't think they have this, but I wish they had a run chart where they would have arrows just tracking every run that he's made through the season, because that would look pretty awesome. It would look like a giant kraken spreading its tendrils all throughout the field, deeper and deeper and deeper into the defense.
I need to find that now.
Yeah, Jam says
probably doesn't exist.
Jam says, is Daniels doing this? Imagine what Nuss could be doing. Yeah, I agree, dude. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, if I hear somebody say that on the spot,
and to be clear, that's true. That's just a little,
and that's not even joke. Because Nuss is going to be great this year.
Yeah,
it's a luxury to have, but no, if you don't appreciate this, that's on you.
Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.